packed bus going down to Smithfield. All these kids got on at the language school. It's unbelievable, about 24 of them. So I got there a little late, but it didn't matter. I had plenty of time to do my Coles shopping. I found a Coles SIM card which looked good and everything. Then I got on the bus, the return bus, and I noticed that you've got to use a debit card or a credit card to activate the account. So I think I'm still screwed. It's just unbelievable. If you don't have a debit or credit card in this country, you're stuffed. That's why I got a $20 card, because I would have thought it was the cash would pay for a bit of credit on the actual account, so I'll be up and running. It doesn't look that well. I'm going to try it anyway, but I don't have high hopes. This is looking like Mission Impossible to me. Good morning. I'm heading off to town again, up to Cairns Central. This time I'm going to get myself a SIM card, and it looks as though it's quite a viable option. I was knocked back on Saturday when I bought the Coles prepaid SIM to discover you had to put in bank details as ID, but apparently if you go to a phone shop like JB for instance, you can actually get a SIM card and all they require is your ID, your visual ID, so the passport's fine. So that's a real weight off my shoulders, because I was just concerned that I'd have no way of getting another SIM card and therefore not being able to get access to my ANZ account where my credit card is. So yeah, things are looking pretty gloomy until I check that out on the web page today. And at least my internet's still working, so I suppose that's good news. You've got to take it day by day. But if I get myself a SIM card with unlimited national calls, now I think that includes 1300 numbers, but I'll have to clarify that, and that'll be for 28 days. And they've got a special on at the moment, JB. It's only $12, so it's quite reasonable. It's about a $24 discount, so it's quite a decent discount. It'll just be an interim measure for me until I find a more permanent solution, which might be TPG, get them to send a SIM card out to me, because it's only $10 a month with them for 6 months, and then it goes up to 20. So still pretty reasonable, although it's a Vodafone network and I haven't tried them. Not sure what their coverage is like. Supposedly all three carriers have got coverage in Koara Beach, but we'll see. But this is just a step-by-step process of trying to get myself out of that financial quicksand that I'm in right now. And yeah, all you can do is do it step by step, because it's a mountain to climb. And I had another worrying night, thinking about things. I was just constantly concerned about the situation. I got a letter on Saturday, which looked pretty ominous. It looked as though they've been hacked in both of my main share portfolios have been hacked, and they're the ones that provide me with my dividend income. So basically my income's going to be slashed. It's just and I count on that. Being a pensioner, having extra income from dividends is very important, but they've basically targeted those stocks. It makes sense, and but ComSec weren't aware of that when they spoke to me on last Thursday, so maybe they're onto it now. I don't see how they would not be onto it, but I've got paperwork from the share registry telling me that they've changed the bank account from CommBank to some other bank I've never heard of, which is might be offshore or whatever. The whole thing's really, really dodgy. I think I'm covered for all that. My major concern would be if the shares have been taken out of my name for a period of time, where do I miss out on my dividends? Because it's not an insubstantial amount we're talking, probably, maybe at $3 grand, and that's income I really do need. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. Couldn't really have happened at a worse time when it came to the dividend cycle. I think they're being paid next month, but to qualify for them, you've got to have shares the previous month. So I'm not sure the exact dates, but it's, yeah, both my CBA and Telstra shares have been, they've changed the bank details. It's amazing. They've just basically taken over my identity. It's just really frightening stuff. Progress is finally being made in this horrible saga that I've been going through. Oh boy, it looks pretty threatening out there. Very threatening. Yeah, first thing I got done was I got the credit, I got the mobile SIM card. Needed that, really important to have. It cost me 15 rather than 12 for 30 days, but that's okay. It's a JB one. They set it up for me, and all I needed was my passport ID, so that was good. So that worked out well. And they said that it could take up to 24 hours for it to activate, but as it turned out, it activated pretty well instantaneously. So I've got myself a mobile number. If I want to hold on to that one, I'm going to be paying big bucks in the future. So I'll have to look for an alternative. It may well be TPG's mobile offer, I think. But we'll just see. I've got a few phone calls to make. At least I've got unlimited phone calls, and it includes 113 numbers, so that's good. So quite flexible. So I'm very happy with that. So rain, it's looking pretty bad. Luckily I'm undercover. The real torrential stuff. Anyway, I went to the ANZ Bank, and I saw the same lady I'd seen previously, and she seemed pretty knowledgeable, super knowledgeable and empathetic in that she'd also been, she had the same thing happen to her. She'd been hacked as well with her bank account, so she understood exactly what I was going through. And what she was able to do was at least to activate my credit card. So that's now working. So I can ring up TPG and give them a new credit card details. That's a big bonus. She's also given me printouts of all my accounts, so I know what I'm up for and how much I've got in each account and what's going on. And I've just got to ring another number to get the online account unlocked, so I can get internet banking up and running again. So hopefully it's just one more phone call and I'll be finally able to access my access the internet. We'll see. Okay, it seems to have cleared now, so we'll move on to the Commonwealth Bank. Well, I've got all that garbage sorted at Combank. Just basically gave them information. There wasn't much else I could do today. And the girl, they're just passing it on. Took copies of the, it looks as though my major shareholder is Telstra, the CBA, so she knows that the hackers have diverted the money to their own bank account. So it's, yeah, they've just basically gone through everything. It's just incredible. A total smash and grab job in a cyber sense. Not good. Actually, I think the 110 was a little late, and I just missed getting the 111 to back home, so I still might catch it, but I might also have to walk the whole way home. At least the weather's improved. My disposition's improved in that I can secure my internet connection. That's the most important thing, and I can pick up the pieces from that. But if I lost my internet, I'd be totally stuffed at home. So that is my number one priority, and I think I might have achieved it if I do indeed have a working credit card. It did say approved when I put the PIN number in, so it looks good. So it's just a matter of getting back home and getting onto TPG, giving them a different credit card number and details, and then we can proceed from there. So it's been a reasonably okay day in a rather traumatic month, so you've got to take whatever wins you can get. And yeah, today's could have been a lot worse. So there you go. Oh. Still getting over the cold, but I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling okay to walk now. Got a couple of bottles of vino, cheap vino in my backpack. I'll have some cheese with that and have a relaxing afternoon. So yes, it'll be good, and hopefully catch up with Lynn on Wednesday at the sports club, the Trinity Sports Club. She's taken on another student. She always does that. I mean, it pays the bills, I guess, but she's got herself committed to that, but she's still able to get a bit of time off, so that'll be good. I haven't seen her for a long time, actually, a couple of months, I'd say. She was meant to catch up with me before I went OS, which was meant to happen late last month. So, well, as I say, it's going to be nice to get back home. Still got to do a few duties. I've got to break up the palm fronds and put them in the bin for collection tomorrow morning. Apart from that, really nothing major. Bought some more greens, bought some more cheese. Got some tonic water when I buy some more gin. And I can go through my transactions on the ANZ before I even get online, because the girl there actually did a printout for me, which was really good, because Wednesday, and I've been hitting the old mobile phone, the new JB Telstra chip I've got in there at the moment, pretty hard, the SIM card, and made a lot of phone calls this morning. Spent a lot of time waiting on hold and being transferred to areas, from one area to another in Commonwealth Bank, for instance, and so it's quite frustrating, but I eventually did get stuff done. I also had to deal with a share registrar, and that was painful. I must have made about half a dozen calls to them before I finally got someone who really knew what they were talking about. So that was a Link share registry. I've always had a pretty low opinion of Computer Share in Melbourne. That's another share registry place. They're the big two. But Link didn't cover themselves in glory today. Weren't the easiest people to communicate with. But I finally got someone decent. And it was about, so the hackers had changed the banking details on two of my biggest shareholdings, which were receiving dividends. They're my big dividend earners. And so, I was really worried that I wouldn't have that extra income. So it was a big deal and very stressful. And what really added to the stress was that they kept handballing between one another. Link told me that it was my broker, who happens to be ComSec, who look after that stuff with bank accounts. But in actual fact, ComSec told me that when it comes to distribution of things like dividends, you can choose which bank account you want to send it to, and that's administered by Link. So it's great when you get bloody companies that are sort of basically handballing to one another, taking no responsibility in it. That's what was happening. So it was very frustrating. I did actually get a call from a lady called Molly from ID Care, which is the voluntary organisation that looks after people who have been victims of cyber crime, like I've had, the identity theft. So she gave me a few pointers, which was good. Just a sympathetic ear. Spoke to her probably 20 minutes on the phone, And the other frustrating one was actually just trying to get an electricity bill, because I'd contacted Ergon the previous day and they supposedly were going to send a bill via email to me. It never turned up. And so I had to ring them again today after I'd done all the other stuff with the banks and the share registration place. And I find that the girl admitted that the person I'd spoken to the previous day hadn't coded it in correctly. So I did get an emailed bill, which wasn't too big either, because there was a credit hangover from the previous one. So only about 13 bucks. So that's good news, I suppose. But I also, because it's getting a little worried, and actually my cousin had the same thought in her head, you also got to protect yourself from someone really going nuclear on you and selling your house from under you using your ID. And it has happened. So that was another issue. So what I just contacted my conveyancer, who'd actually done the conveyancing on purchasing of this property that I'm living in now, and they were pretty good actually, and they finally got back to me this Savo with an email, and fairly reassuring, saying, look, especially if you've got a mortgage, which I do, it makes it more difficult for someone to do something like that, sell a house using your ID, because it has to be cleared by the bank itself, and of course the bank at the moment has got everything frozen. So there's no way that could take place. I still might they sent me a link to the actual titles office where the title of my property lies. And I might just at least alert them to the fact that I have been a victim of identity fraud, digital identity fraud. And just so they know, just so everybody's informed. I also called, I've got a couple of Visa cards, orange Visa cards from ING. Yesterday through the mail with another card from Ubank, which didn't even have a number on it. So I contacted ING, and they told me straight away, as soon as I gave them my details, I said, oh, don't worry, we're on to it. We've got a fraud investigation into it. So whatever these people tried doing, I thought it was a credit card because it got Visa on the cards, but they were only debit cards, so it wasn't, potentially that bad anyway. So that made me feel better, and it made me feel better that the bank already knew that they were being scammed by this person. So maybe they're not as clever as I was making out. I'm thinking they're the greatest Bengali on earth, an evil genius behind all this. Maybe not. So that made me feel a bit better. And then final call today, and boy, I made a few. I've just got to tell you. Was to Aldi Mobile, and I didn't even think I was going to get through to them, but I did. But it was absolutely useless, because the girl I got through to, I explained to her that my email and my mobile number weren't working, and I offered to give her my new email address so she could get in contact, because she said she was going to look into it. And before the phone call ended, and she hadn't taken my new email address, which I'd offered to her. So there's no way they can contact me, because my mobile number doesn't work, the old mobile number with Aldi. So, oh God, I hope she's good looking, because she's certainly been bred for brains. Or maybe she just wanted to get rid of the call. Anyway, either way, I didn't think I was going to get through to them, because you've got to use a PIN number, but if you don't put it in, you can still talk to someone there. So you can talk to people, but the quality of the people you got on the other end of the line varies considerably. And I certainly found that out with Link and Aldi Mobile. Wow. Because I was going to go to the telecommunications ombudsman about them, because I couldn't get through. I still might, because I put an e-ticket in with them. They didn't even reply to that. And when I did get through to them, they wouldn't take any of my new contact details. So what's the point? If they can't contact me, oh, just bizarre. But I'm feeling a little more secure. That's why I like online. I hate using the phone because it takes up so much time, and I just find online transactions convenient, but unless they're secure, of course, there's a huge downside to them. Friday, it'll be hopefully the resumption of drinks at the beach house this afternoon, but right now I'm heading to Cairns Central. I've got to go to the ANZ Bank, and the only reason I'm going today really is to have money transferred from my Access account, which isn't just a standard savings account, into my my credit card. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to make sure there's more than adequate funds on the credit card. It'll be in positive balance so that I can make transactions online and start, doing things that I've been doing in the past. And so it'll basically put me back in what I regard as a normal banking situation. Hi. Yeah, so that's the plan. The thing is, they gave me a 1300 number, which I thought was specifically for reactivating my internet banking, but I don't think it is. I think it's actually a number for phone banking, which I've never used before, and it asks for a PIN number or some other ID number. And I'd never used it. I didn't know how to use it. So I was totally confused by that, and I'm under the impression now that what's happened is because there's a fraud investigation taking place at both of my banks, until they're completed, I'm not able to get normal access to my banking accounts. I'm totally locked out of CBA. That's even worse than ANZ. But at least ANZ, I've got a working credit card now. If I knew how to use phone banking, I guess I could transfer funds that way, but I still need a PIN number, which I've never had because I've never used the service. So, but people don't tell you all this, unfortunately, and I was left in the impression that that was a number to unlock the account so I could go back into my online banking, but I don't think it is. I think it's just basically phone banking, and that, again, never explained. But so it's what I should have done on Monday, because the girl was very good on Monday, helped me out. She activated my credit card at ANZ and really got me up and running, and gave me receipts of all the transactions. No one else has printed out stuff for me. The CBA hasn't, which I think is rather poor when you think about it. I don't have access to any of this information, so really that should be part of their standard practice for someone who's frozen out of their accounts, to give them a printed copy of transactions. You'd think that would be logical, wouldn't you? But no. Anyway, on Monday, the lady at the ANZ actually did say to me, you can transfer funds here, and do you want to do it? And I stupidly I didn't say yes. I should have actually done the transfer then. And if I'd done that, then rather than having to go all the way down to Cairns Central, because there's only one branch in the whole of Cairns, I could have gone to I could have got that all resolved on Monday and had plenty of money in the account on the credit card, and I would have now been just going, say, to Smithfield to get some shopping done. But it's no big deal. It's not going to cost me much extra. It's just more time. So it's not a huge imposition. It's not like, luckily I'm time rich. As I said, for someone who's not time rich and goes through all this stuff with identity theft, it would be absolutely mind-boggling. That's why they give the phone numbers for things like Lifeline and Beyond Blue at the end of the ID care page, because they know people mentally, this just does people in, and probably people do top themselves because of it. It's that serious, because it's just totally up, because we become more dependent on online stuff. If you take it away from us, it it really sets you off. So anyway, today hopefully I'll get that done, and I'm chipping away at all the other stuff. I got a couple of things done yesterday as well, so just keep working at it, and yeah. yeah, eventually I'll get on top of it all, I guess. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.